Good morning, children. So, today we are going to study another lesson, and its name is A Narrow Escape. And this story is written by Leela Majumdar. Actually, this story is in Bengali language, and here it is translated. Okay. Narrow escape. Narrow escape means what, children? It means that a barely successful avoidance of danger. Slightly we get rid of a danger. For example, we can say that what? He had a narrow escape since the bullet came within inches of his head. I will write that sentence here. He had a narrow escape since the bullet came within inches of his head. Inches of his head. Okay, so this is an example. He had a narrow escape. He just get rid of that danger. Actually, what happened? A bullet was just coming close to his head, but he had a narrow escape since the bullet came within inches of his head. Okay. Now, we can just start with our lesson. Read the story about a young man's strange experience in the hills. This happened a long time ago. I did write about it then, but I have lost the pages. So, the author is saying that this story or this young man's strange experience happened long time ago. Before so many years ago, this happened. I did write about it back then, but I have lost the pages. And again, she is saying that I already wrote about all this, but I have lost the pages. If you are wondering whether what I am going to talk about is real or fictitious, well, if one wishes to listen to a story, how does it matter if it's either? So the author is saying that I know, or I just think that if you are wondering, if you are just wondering about what I am going to talk about, is it real or fictitious? Is about a real incident or a made up story or a fictitious one, a novel or a made up story? Well, it's good if one wishes to listen a story. If you are or if anybody want to or anybody wish to listen a story, that person will not think whether that story is real or fictitious. Okay. Is there really any difference between a cock and bull story and an incident that is of little value now? So, here again the author is asking that is there really any difference between a cock and bull story means made up story. Okay. A cock and bull story or an incident that already happened. A real life incident. So she is asking some so as an introduction she is just asking some questions to us. So here she asks that what is there any difference between a made up story and a real life incident? Never mind, don't think about that. I will only say that you hear out me first. So she is saying that never mind about that all this is this a real life incident or a fictitious one or anything else. I am asking you or I am saying you that you have to listen me first. As most will know, know means almost all of you know. During the Second World War, scores of people, scores means many people, okay. So during the Second World War, scores of people scared of being bombed had fled from Calcutta to various noxious means harmful, okay, noxious and dangerous places. So, children, during Second World or during the World War time, people cannot lead peaceful life. Every time bombing is there, then so many problems are there. So, here our author is saying, as you all know, as almost all of you know, that during the Second World War, many people being of scared bombing, they have fled. They had moved from Calcutta to various harmful and dangerous places. At that time, one of my uncle's family had been considering moving from Kurusang for a couple of months. So for a couple of months, one of my uncle's family just decided to move to Kurusang. Okay, so a small cottage at a reasonable rent. Reasonable means the rent that this family can afford. A logical, a good rent. So, a small cottage at a reasonable rent was found in a healthy and beautiful place. My eldest aunt, however, refused to relocate to a house that she had not seen before. Relocate means to move a new house. To move a new house. That is here it means that to move a new house. So she just refused. Why she is refusing? She just saying that actually they are very scared. That's why they want to move from Calcutta to another place. But here she just says that she is not ready to go the house that she had not seen before. So what happened? Hence Taipa, her dear grandson, was sent to a Rizi of the house. That means Rizi means getting information about an area. So Taipa just went out. Her aunt's dear grandson just went out to find some information about that house and that area where that house is there. Okay. The obedient grandson packed. Obedient means one who is willing to obey. That is obedient. It's very much familiar to you. So the obedient grandson, sorry children, the obedient grandson packed his woolens and a thick blanket in a small suitcase and set off his journey. Okay, set off is a phrasal verb. Set off. Set off means start. Okay, start one's journey. So he just started his journey. He dropped by at a landlord's office to collect the keys, but was told that he could not require a key to enter the house. So he just go to that landlord's office to collect the keys. After collecting the keys only he can, by using that keys only he can open that house. So but from the landlord's office he get the information that there is no need to require a key to enter the house. Why there is no key required to enter the house? Let us know what is happening there. The person also informed him that a postcard had been sent to the watchman and mattresses, pillows as well as utensils had been arranged there. Why he got the information that he would not require a key to enter the house? That means actually a postcard had been sent to the watchman. Mattresses, pillows, utensils, all the things that need for a family is already set there. He just had to meet the watchman upon his arrival in Kurusang. So here The only thing he has to do is, after reaching that place, he had to meet the watchman. All the arrangements are arranged there. Okay. The train chugged in on time. That means the train just started. Chugged means actually the sound. The train. Here it means that the train moved on, or the train started in on time. Taipa got off and legging his suitcase on his shoulder, he took Bow Hill Road to his destination. The landscape was lovely with serpentine roads. Serpentine means twisting. Okay, hillside we can see this type of twisting roads there. So the landscape was lovely with serpentine roads and corner shops. Shops were there. The shops that sells rice, lentils, potatoes, salt, and essentially stationery. Halfway down was a small lane to the right. Taipa took a turn. Taipa took a turn, and there stood before him an elegant picturesque house. Picturesque means the house that is just made up in an old fashioned way. Oh, it's given there. Picturesque means pretty in an old fashioned way. Huh? So elegant means very proudly that house is there. The only one in that area. But just half day was a small lane to the right. That means a small pocket road to the right. And then he took a turn, and he only found one house there. In that area he found only one house. And what happened? It had a red thin roof, green doors and windows, and a red wooden gate. He pushed the gate and it creaked open. Creaked means the sound of that gate. Okay. It creaked open. He walked inside and shouted out for the watchman. There was no response. He just shouted. He just called out that watchman. But nobody is there. There was no response. A few minutes later, he called out again and no one came. Taipa was an impatient. Impatient means what? Huh? He's not just patient enough to wait for that man. He went ahead. He just went ahead, pushed open the glass door and went indoor. He just entered into that house. The hall was long. A mat made of dried cotton shells lay on the yes, lay on the floor. There were sofas, tables, and even a mirrored rack to hang hats and umbrellas. Taipa played with the switches and the bedroom lit it up. Just he switch on the light. He turned the taps in the bathrooms and there was water. Everything in the house seemed to be working just fine. So all the things and all the arrangement just seem that it's working very well. Okay, the locale was perfect. Locale means the surrounding. The surrounding was perfect too. So the Taipa concluded that they could live here for 6 or 7 months at a great ease. They can freely live there for 6 or 7 months. He decided to turn back the very next morning. So he just think that next morning he can go to his, or he can return to his house next morning. Suddenly it started raining cats and dogs. Raining cats and dogs. What is this? Huh? So this is another. Raining cat and dogs means it's also a phrasal verb. It means that just note it down. It just means that something that you say. Please note it down, children. That you say. Can you see this green color? Can you say when it is raining heavily. So it's a phrasal verb that used when it is raining heavily. When it's raining heavily, we will say, or it's used to say, oh, it started raining cats and dog. Okay, clear. Hmm? So once more, something that you say when it is raining heavily. Please note it down. Hmm? Okay, clear? Okay. As in common in any hilly area. So it's common in hilly area. The sky, mountains, and the valleys were suddenly engulfed or were covered. Engulfed means covered by a thick fog. One could not tell whether it was so. It's very difficult to find out whether it is day or night. Okay, so one could not tell whether it was still day or night had swiftly fallen over the hills. It was this time that someone started pounding on the door. Someone started just knocking out the door. So here what suddenly it started raining heavily and what happened? A thick fog engulfed the whole area. One could not tell whether it was still day or night had swiftly fallen over the hills. Okay, it was that time. It was this time that someone started pounding on door. Someone started knocking at the door. Let us see who is that. Taipa opened it and saw a rickety old Englishman with a small briefcase in hand and drenched to his chin, staring back at him. Okay, rickety means what? Rickety means not strong, frail, very weak, a weak old Englishman. And he is holding a small briefcase in his hand. And drenched means what? Wet thoroughly or what? Soaked. His dress is just wet. You will understood by seeing that picture. Okay. Look at him. He's too old. Then he's just staring back at him. He's just looking at him. Okay. There were patches of moss and mud on his trousers. So Taipa assumed he just guessed that the man have slipped and fallen somewhere. It's raining heavily, so on the way he just slipped down and this patches and mud because of that, and he's just finding out the reason that why there were patches of moss and mud on his trousers, and he just find out a reason uh, by assuming that what he may slip down and fall on somewhere, and his cheeks were hollow, his face pale. Hollow means ill, and just look at the face of this man. So cheeks were hollow means sunken appearance. Appearance of having little fat. Let me find out the brush. Little fat in the area between cheekbones, and jawbone. Just look at this place. Is just what we can find less fat there. Then he was shivering in the cold, his teeth chattering incessantly, means not stop because of that cold. Due to that rain, heavy rain, his teeth started chattering. May I come in, please? He asked. May I come in, please? Of course, what a day. Taipa bluttered. Taipa just said, okay, yes, come in. Why don't you change into some warm clothes and have some tea, please? So Taipa just tried to play the perfect host. That means he's just trying to play a role of a perfect host. He is just trying to impress his guest. Okay. The two beds in the bedroom had a blanket each. After tea, the Englishman opened his briefcase to reveal wads of 100 rupee notes which he carefully laid out on the mat to dry. So, in the opening section or in the introduction, we just learned that a mat was there and it was made up of what? It was made up of dried coconut shells. Oh, so what did the old man do? He just put that briefcase, or he just opened that briefcase, and from that briefcase he found some 100 rupee notes and he put it on the mat to dry. Then he slipped into bed, but he kept shivering with two blankets. After covering with two blankets, also, this man started shivering. Okay, what our Taipa do? So, Taipa tucked his most favorite hot water bottle under the man's feet. Tucked means Tucked. Tucked means placed. He just placed his most favorite hot water bottle under the man's feet. Look at Taipa, just how caring he is. Actually, he don't know the person who is lying on the bed, but he's just caring him. Then he had dinner and fell fast asleep. Okay. Now, the rain continued for 3 days at a stretch. At a stretch means continuous period. Okay. Continuously for 3 days, the rain just going on. It was no great surprise that they soon ran out of food. Ran out means finished. Okay. It's also another phrasal verb. Ran out. It was not great surprise. Our author is saying that after for 1 or 2 days our Taipa is there, so not enough food is with him. So they soon finished, or so soon they consumed the food that he kept with him. Okay. Taipa searched the kitchen and located a small primus. Primus stove means the stove that we can easily movable. We can easily move. And a torn umbrella. He ran to the corner shop to get rice, lentils. Lentil means it's an edible, a eatable type of food. Okay. It's just like our leguminous items. That means pea, or like that. Get rice, lentils, potatoes, onions, and a bottle of oil. However, trying to light the stove was another matter. He would have surely burned the house down, has not the Englishman come running and adjusted the flame. So if our Englishman didn't adjust that flame, our Taipa just what? Just burn the whole house. He don't know how to adjust that flame and all. Taipa's visitor was very affable. Affable means friendly. So the visitor was very friendly. He had high fever, yet refused to have anything but tea and condensed milk. But he had high fever, but he just refused to eat anything. He just have tea and condensed milk. Although Taipa was very bit curious, he is a little bit curious about the Englishman. But what happened? The old man consciously avoided. He just avoided talking about his banknotes. It seems like that he don't want to reveal anything about that notes. Instead, he simply stacked them back into his briefcase once they had dried. So after the knots get dried, what our Englishman do? He just stacked them back. Stacked means filled with a large amount. Okay. So here it means that he just filled that knots into his briefcase. Beams of bright sunshine flooded the rooms on the third day. The sky was clear and blue. So now the rain is over. bright sunshine is there. The sky was clear and blue. Taipa packed his bags, bid farewell to the Englishman, and left for the station. So see, he said bye bye to our Englishman, and he packed his bags and he just left to the station. On his return to Calcutta, he was told that the family had decided to go to Castilla instead of, because he had too long to return. Actually, he just came to this place and he just planned that one day he will get information about the house, and the next morning he will just set off to his house. But actually what happened, because of that heavy rain, he get stuck 3 days there. So by that time the family decided to go to another place. His eldest aunt had already left for the place the previous day. So the previous day, our aunt already went to that place. The turn of event quite upset Taipa, but our Taipa was very sad. Why all this happened? Then 15 years passed by. Taipa was a family man now. Now our Taipa is not that small boy. He was much older. Then what happened? Once deciding to visit Kurasang during the puja vacations, he looked up the same house again. It was available. This time he voluntarily undertook the responsibility of inspecting it. Hence, on reaching the place, he deposited his suitcase with the station master and quickly walked up to the house. He planned to return that every evening, just like then what happened in his childhood days also. What happened? Now Taipa was much older, so he decided to visit Khorasan again to the same house. Luckily, that house was still available. Okay, so he just kept his suitcase in the with the station master and he just walked up to the house. He planned to return that every evening. Every bit of this visit mirrored means was similar to, okay, every bit of this visit visit mirrored his previous one. The charming house, the crooked creaky gate, the absence of the watchman, the open glass road, the light in the bedrooms, and the water from the taps. As if that were not enough, clouds enveloped the sky. The mountains and the valley in blinding darkness, and it began to rain heavily. So, what happened? Hmm? This visit too turned out to be quite similar. The train station, the path to the house itself. And as soon as our Taipa stepped into the house, it started to rain again, just like the day years ago. So everything is similar. It started, grew dark, and what happened after that? Suddenly, Taipa heard knocks on the door. It just as on that night 15 years ago. He opened the door. Before him, there stood an old rickety Englishman with a small briefcase. The same man who had visited Taipa years ago. So the same man is here. He is just knocking at the door. Which man? The man he met just 15 years ago. Now or today, his eyes were hollow, his face pale, and his teeth chattered from the mud. Sorry, from the cold. His teeth just chattered from the cold. Taipa saw the patches of moss and mud on his trousers. May I please come in? He just asked. What happened after that? Taipa held the door wide open, still past the young man, and tore down the curved path towards the railway station. The rain lashed on without stopping. Not once did Taipa stop to look back. Actually, what is happening here? Just Taipa opened the door to find the same old, drenched, that cold Englishman with a briefcase standing in front of him. What happened? He just what happened? He just slid past him. He just passed him and ran away as fast as his feet could take him. So he just ran off from that place. Now, children, what do you think? That is this man a ghost? Or is this a dream? That you have to find out. Today, so this is enough and enough for you. Just go through this story. And if you find any word, any phrase, or anything difficult, just call me, okay? And today you have to do one thing also. You have to copy down the meanings from the textbook to your notebook. And today I will give you notes of the same lesson. Okay, children? Thank you and have a nice day, and just keep reading your lessons. Okay.